Good morning, girls. I hope you're fine. Today we're going to talk about the essay on Santa Clo comes to la Cuchilla by Abelardo Diaz Alfaro. The essay on Santa Clo comes to la Cuchilla by Abelardo Diaz Alfaro is about changes. Changes is the transformation or the variation of something from one original state to another state. First, we can understand that changes can be divided into positive and negative changes. So in this essay, I will tell you what are the positive changes that I could see in this just start. For example, the positive changes will depend on how people react if it's something good for them. An example for that is when the superintendent, Rogelio Escalera, wants to change the teaching methods to something new. But a negative change is when people react to that change in a bad way. An example of a negative change is when Johnny Rosas wears a costume of Santa Claus and scares everyone. Finally, I totally agree with the point of view of the author because I think he wants to show us how important are the changes. But the changes will depend on how people react to them. So in my opinion, it's up to you to decide if the change that you are going through or you are going to have will affect your life in a positive way or a negative way. So now, Karina, is your turn.
Okay. The story Santa Claus Comes to La Cuchilla by Abelardo Diaz is about traditions. Traditions are customs that remained in a group of people for a very long time. People usually don't like to introduce new customs because they don't want to lose their identity. But sometimes the traditions can be influenced by others. For example, when someone moves to another country, they carry their customs there. Um, in this story, the writer mentions that shows that a new customs, sorry, that the traditional customs can be enjoyed when Peyo prepared his small fiesta and the people there enjoyed it. But when it comes to new traditions, the people there react in the different way, in a different way, because it was something shocking for them. When the professor, Mr. Johnny Rosas, dressed as Santa Claus, they add they started screaming and crying because this new tradition which were shocking for them because they have no idea of who Santa Claus is. To conclude, I think I can say that the new traditions can be taken if the people have a previous knowledge about. And that the message the author want to give us is that, sorry, that sometimes it's better to know before showing something because if you don't have enough knowledge of what people are going to show you, you cannot react in a good way. Thanks. This
Thank
is
you, Karina. So, Angelina, is your turn.
My essay, the short story, Santa Clo contra la Cuchilla, written by Abelardo Diaz, is about culture and teaching method. The culture are the ideas, customs of people, and the teaching method are the techniques used in the classroom. The culture are the way of life of a people in a society. And in the story is present when Johnny Rosa tries to introduce American culture to the district of La Cuchilla. And the teaching methods, the direct method is when you use the target language in the way of teaching a language instead of your native language. And this method is try to use Johnny Rosa in the school because he said that they need to speak English instead of Spanish, but Peña Merced don't agree with that. And the message of the story is that it's important to preserve our own culture, and I agree with that message because our culture are the way people build a community. Yeah.
Thank you, Angelina. So, Francia, now your turn.
Well, hello. The AC Santa Claus to come to La Cuchilla. The story is written by Abelardo Diaz Alfaro. The is the different culture and tradition between Puerto Rico and America. The history introduced the situations in La Cuchilla, a school where the culture remained intact for centuries. Education results were scarce and pedagogical was not very advanced. And thank you to a young man, his name is Johnny Roses, everything started to spin. He introduced new cultures, traditions, and although in the end it did not work out for him, since the lack of tradition culture when the Vera with the theme of Santa Claus. And finally, I like the history because despite the circumstances, the Johnny Rosa can fulfill his role in a way or in another. In my opinion, I consider the history very important because most of lives in the past and faith in each other. And uh, in the present, as a future professional, we have to get new knowledge, new culture and traditionals, and we will not always stay in the same positions because today I'm here, but tomorrow I don't know. In other words, this topic was good because it's despite everything, it was possible introduce new American culture and improves the level in English, which for obvious reasons was the lacking in the neighborhood, in this case, in the Puerto Rico. Thank you for attention.
Thank you to you. So, was a pleasure to be here. I will start recording.